Hey, what's up, y'all? It's YORO, and I'm checking out more Thunderbolt Fantasy. So, shout out to Amir Kurome for requesting these. Thank you again. Last time, Screaming Phoenix Killer, edgiest name I've ever heard, but he's pretty damn strong, and he has a very personal grudge against Kicho. Again, don't know what my guy did. Apparently, he's wronged him really bad. You know, the Screaming Phoenix Killer, really bad. K Guy as well, where she was like, "Never, I will never go with you again. You are the worst ever." And then he mentions the sword, and she's like, "Oh, okay, where are we going?" Right? So, goddamn. So she really understands the gravity of this kind of sword, this kind of mystical weapon of those swords that I guess were used to fight the demons. But this one in particular is like, oh shit. And she said it housed the particular power. And I think it was a name different than what we've heard before. Like, we've heard the name of the sword multiple times, but I don't know if we heard the name of that power. Again, it's hard to tell with the translation sometimes, or with the subtitles sometimes. But yeah, she was just like instantly, right? But even still, it's like, damn, you know, of course Show took note of that, or just the whole weirdness of everything being like, okay, what did he do? You know, even Shu referring to him as a villain. And Kicho, more than ever now, really strikes me as someone who's very neutral. He's not doing this necessarily out of goodness, out of what's right, you know, as far as taking down the bones of creation. I mean, maybe for the grand scheme, right? He doesn't want the world to be destroyed, or like whatever extent could happen, right? Maybe there is a more selfish personal reason for doing all this that we don't know yet, but I would assume, you know, for the greater good or whatever. But it's not because he's like, oh, he's evil and I must stop him, right? He definitely strikes me as someone who's neutral and would be the kind of person who might wrong K-Guy or the Screaming Phoenix Killer, who maybe it was not always like this. I mean, it seems he's garnered his reputation off killing everyone related to Kicho, and ultimately wants to kill Kicho as well. He's savoring it now. He's like, I'll tell you where to find me. It's like, I have the flute. Yeah, you're in the palm of my hand. He loves this, right? This is what he's been working for. But goddamn, what did our boy do? I don't know, right? So it's very, very strange. You know, Show is definitely like, you know, about everything. So hopefully we find that out soon as we like figure out that situation, because they got to deal with it. They got to get that flute back so they can pass the final obstacle, or the third major obstacle, as far as crossing through the in-between lands. I keep thinking of fucking Elden Ring every time I think of that place, like the lands in between. Yeah, so that's the big thing now. Kicho seemed very thrown off by seeing Screaming Phoenix Killer there. Like, it really was like a thing of like, oh shit, like his past really came back to fuck with him, you know? Someone as strong as him, like what he did to Shu, you know, when Shu did his thing, that super cool, like, call out, like the Babe Ruth, like, that's where you're gonna die, right there. And just whoop, whipped him around, and only because he of course he knew that's where it was coming, that he was able to grab it in time. But that shit was like, damn, you know? Not even he can nail him like that, right? That he was able to figure that out. Against Ken, you know, he at least respected Ken a little bit, right? He's like, I will remember you as long as you stay alive, right? So that was a little bit of respect there. You know, Ken's got the moves. He's very, very good, but he's just a little too bold with his approach. And Sho didn't even take out his sword. He's like, I'm not fucking with this guy. Like, I know better. And he's definitely that type of guy. He's like, if I don't need to like get involved or like whatever, I'm not doing it. You know, he still has that thing about him, and I'm sure it's kept him alive for a long time, even though he is technically part of the group now because of circumstance. He was still like, no, not doing that. So yeah, very, very crazy. So I don't know how they're gonna figure this out. Shout out to K Guy though. You know, Screaming Phoenix Killer jumping in was just like, oh shit. But K Guy also joined us last episode. I like her a lot. I like her dramatic flair, her demon, I guess, is dynamic, because it was like funny with her not wanting to go into the temple, like, oh, it stinks. But we also get like that other perspective, right? Because like how Kicho said before, like, what, just because she's a demon, you know, we can't like reason with her, you know, like that's ridiculous, right? So it's cool to have her around, and I just like her, you know, she's cool. Her jumping in at the end of last episode, you know, to kind of fend off Screaming Phoenix Killer. God, I'm gonna be saying that name a lot. It's such a mouthful. Screaming Phoenix Killer. I'm gonna be saying that every time. We got his name, because shout out to Nitinol and of course Amir for leaving comments. Lugia as well. What about his name in Japanese? Setsu Musho. And his VA is actually Nobuyuki Hiyama, who is Darnik Preston Yuga de Millennia, which is a ridiculous name, but I love saying that. From Fate Apocrypha. So another voice from Fate that I recognize. There's so many. I've seen far too many Fate things. But that's cool. Oh, of course, the Renki, dude. Kicho's master getting bodied. Our introduction to Screaming Phoenix Killer. Just boom, just destroying him. It was over so quick. And it was a build-up, you know, encountering him and talking. Screaming Phoenix Killer. You know, we see his intelligence as well. It's like, I know if I kill you, you probably have something that's going to lead me to him. And same thing with, like, taking his time with Kicho. Like, I have the flutes. I don't have to kill you. And Kicho knew that, too. And he was like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, Renki, fucking RIP, dude. Like, the master craftsman, excellent with the sword as well. We saw his little, like, boom, like, ejected the sword, bounced off like the rock, cracked it, bounced back. Can't be good for the blade. But that shit was cool. And he just got fucking ran through. Man. Cool, probably one of the, I was gonna say one of the coolest introductions to a character, but like every introduction to a character in the show is fucking like sick, or a lot of them have been, but that's like, man, that's such a good one. Just like the killing, like the master off the bat, like wow, you know, what an intro. But yeah, that's about it. I'm thinking maybe they'll get Screaming Phoenix Killer to like compromise in some way. Maybe, I don't think he would come along unless there was some, I think I mentioned this last time, some like weird twisted deal they come across where it's like he gets Kicho's life if they like helped him out or something, and maybe he gets something else for that. And it would have to be like something else too, because it's, he can just kill him, right? He can just kill them. So it's like, why would he need to deal or compromise in any way? So I honestly have no clue. I don't know how they beat him or get the flute back. Maybe they have to steal it back. Trick him, like, I don't know, but he's really smart too, so we'll see what's up. But there's a lot of us, there's a lot of people in the group, so I'm sure they'll be able to do something with their numbers. That's the only reason they survived last time, right? So maybe they can do some shit. But which is crazy, like all of them against his one is like the only reason, or the only chance they have, or little fellowship. But yeah, so we'll see what's up. We're gonna get into the next episode, the Sword Devil Setsu Musho. Let's go. Beginning the episode in 3, 2, 1. Getting the volume right. Gotta keep it loud enough to enjoy this. Got my replacement headphones too, so sounds even better than my janky ass earbuds I was using. Man, what did you do? What did you do, Kicho? Oh, there he is there. Screaming Phoenix Killer. He's the one who slices the petal. Got it. She's water bending over here. So we saw the flurry of arrows there at the golem, trying to hit that nape, I guess. Probably hard to get behind him. But I guess he could do the place of death thing. Could try to anyway. Can't be that fast, right? The golem. The most dangerous. What you gonna do? Yeah, and with Sho being an outsider too. Don't know. Wow, the greatest. He's definitely strong enough. That's the question. Damn. Damn, Kicho. That many people? Yeah, that hasn't changed. Yeah, it's literally just the Tengokin. I guess that idea is out the window. Just take it back. Genius. I don't know. Yeah, Sho didn't think so. A chance, but not a certain one. That makes sense. Which is still crazy. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, Shu and K guy, but without them, how do you beat him? So you can't beat him. Just wager your life. Just you? Yeah, I don't. Nah, dude. Like, brave. I respect it, but no. Dumb. Man, he wants glory so bad. Doesn't care about dying. Wow. That's all. He values that more than his life. That's crazy. Damn. How old is Sho, I wonder? He is graying. Oh, really? Okay. I can tell if it's arrogance or if he really, like... Yeah, that's get your boy. He already knows. There's nothing. Nothing I can say. Come on, Aniki. Yeah, do you think he can still be negotiated with? You're saying practical. Okay, so he has an idea, but he's going to give some time to maybe come up with something else. Okay, well, alright. Nice. Sick. Wow, he lives? Oh my god. I mean, fine idea, but no. Oh. Not for you, fool. She's willing to do anything. She's really taking on the responsibility. He's like, no. Can't deal with this. It's a fucked up situation. And I really don't want Ken to go. Yeah. So hopefully Kicho thinks of something. Yeah. That's the last resort if you can't think of anything else. There you go. Nightmarish. She's so great. I want to know those spells. What you got? Probably just as bad as the one she suggested. This like suicide acid bomb on Ken. God. Oh, what up, dude? What? Wow. He just straight up came here. Just chilling. Little too gallant. Yeah, he wasn't being fully serious. Yeah. I was gonna say that before. There's no way he was going all out. Can't just say it. It's in the title. I love how anime this puppet show is. I know Show was so casual about it. Pow. This is so interesting. Yeah, of course not. Really? Wow. Well, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be real nasty to even be that nice and still be hated. I don't know. Maybe he still would have. Seiyuda? What? The other side of the wasteland of spirits. So he traveled through there to get here? Why? Oh, it's that crazy? And why? What was he running from? We're looking for. It's interesting. If it's something that crazy, yeah, how did he do that? Say you. Alright, I guess we'll keep that in the brain. Okay, just straight up asking. Like this. Wonder if we'll hear it from him, what he did. Yeah. He's worked hard for this. I mean, I don't know. Okay. Would have been naive. Yeah, show smarter than that. Screaming Phoenix Killer. Wow. But is Show too guarded to do it? Oh, fuck. Okay, these are a lot of scenarios. Ah, yep. There you go. Show's been on guard. I like that. That's so fucking cool. So this is what would actually happen if he tried any of these things he was picturing before. That's fucking awesome. God damn. I wonder if they would maybe fight to a stalemate. And like you said, if he was really naive, he would have been killed before to make it this far from where he's from. Yeah, exactly. Yo, who is Show? You know, if he did something like that. Oh, wow. He's still thinking about it. This is such a dope conversation. Maybe he can't. The imbeciles. Will he let that happen? Hmm. An aversion to bloodshed. So to avoid it, yeah, it's gonna come to it. He's gonna have to. He's been trying to avoid it, but he knows too. Wow, called out. Never. He's so sure. And he is. Show definitely is. 15 years. All right. So be it then. He's decided. Okay. For a moment, I was like, which is which? That movement. Fuck fate. That's my sword. My ninja way. Nope, just kidding. It's his real title. Kichos. To dance to his tune with no idea. We don't know the truth. Damn. So if he knew. Crazy. Oh shit, the narrator. Woo. So that was his. That was sick. Let's go. Damn, that was such a cool build up to this. I love these two, like that whole confrontation. Oh my god. Nice. Oh, wow. This dude always has something clever to say. Damn genjutsu. Always. He did say that. That's why before I was like, which is which? So what's Kicho gonna do? What do you have in mind? He must have something to be here. Oh, you can have it. Doesn't even want it now. Oh, so he is gonna try to get him to come with us. What? No way. It's like the only thing I considered, and I had no idea otherwise, but even so, I didn't think it was gonna be possible. Oh, it's exactly what I was thinking. That's crazy. Oh, man. Because, yeah, he doesn't need that. He can just do it. But Kicho is pretty tricky. Always escaping. Complete any task I start. Wow. Cool. Damn, and he has that interest. Okay, so that's the external factor I was kind of thinking he would need as well. He's just interested in that as well. Because, yeah, I guess Kicho, like, if Kicho gives up on the flute, he could just continue to use his magic and then get away and... Alright, a deal's a deal then. Wow, I can't believe I called that. Wow. Alright. Well, hey, this is sick. He's going to be an ally until then. I'm down. And listen, maybe Kicho deserves it, bro. We still don't know what he's done. That's funny. Yeah, you got time. It's his ideal. Yeah, he's so, like, casual always. Yeah, otherwise Ken and... Okay, yeah, so Sho provoked it. Desperate thing. But it worked out. Probably the best outcome. Really? That's interesting. We're not Nakama. Man, I loved that. He probably will. Sho interests him too much now. Ken will get his glory. Not now, but later. He will. That's true. I mean, this way they could utilize his strength, though. Yeah, it's true. He didn't wait to see how it played out. Until they reach the tower. We got all the pieces. Yeah. I guess that's that. Oh, really? Does he? Was it to fight him? You have to swear to it first? That's so jank. I wonder if it's he needs him to either fight the Bones of Creation or to fight Screaming Phoenix Killer. Maybe probably Bones of Creation. Like, he's probably aware of Show's power and his strength, and he needs that. Of course, but don't know for what yet. Oh shit. This boy. We haven't seen his true intro yet. They'll come to you. Yep. He already knows. It is crazy. But what can they do? Well, that's good. He's not underestimating them. Very rare for a villain. It's usually their downfall. There it is. Fancy. So beautiful. He already knows. Nice. Very cool. All right. So you know what? I'm actually going to be watching the next episode right after this because I'm going to be posting both of them at the same time. Well, holy fuck. That was a good ass episode, man. My favorite part, of course, is our boy Show and Screaming Phoenix Killer. Like, Show just walking up, approaching, sitting down. But he knew what was up. He wasn't naive enough to, like, be like, yeah, we can just talk this out. But even Screaming Phoenix Killer, he pointed out the thing, like, dude, you know you weren't going to be able to, like, talk this through, or, like... And even Kicho being like, but you wanted to avoid a confrontation where you didn't want, like, to just die, right? And so we see, like, this degree, like, from Show where he's, like... He took the initiative because he really didn't want there to be bloodshed. He didn't want Ken to die. He wanted to confront the situation himself. So we see this side of him that it seems that he tries to deny or just avoid, you know, because it does bring him trouble. You know, it's a not selfish thing to put himself in danger like that. For him to do this when his first initial reaction, his very correct instinct was to not draw his sword at all against him. And even during that whole conversation, he was still deciding if he wanted to. So it was a predicament on many levels for Show there. But it was just so fucking cool, like, within that, like, Screaming Phoenix Killer. And I love just calling him that. Like, I know his, like, legit name here, Setsumusho. But Screaming Phoenix Killer, I have to say that every time. It's a fucking mouthful, but it's just the best. But he's, like, sizing him up the whole time. He's like, I've been thinking about killing you the moment you sat down. I'm picturing so many scenarios where I'm killing you. And each time I see you're so on guard, that you are going to stop me every time. And he's through that whole thing was constantly looking for an opening, but Show was on guard, of course. So it was such a, like the way Screaming Phoenix Killer said, like, it's not when you draw your sword and, like, are actually fighting that the fight begins, you know. It's that whole thing right there. And, like, within that, also learning Show came from, like, what's it called, Seiyu, I think is the name they said. And he had to cross, like, the land of, like, wandering spirits, which from Screaming Phoenix Killer's reaction and how he described it is almost like a land of the dead, you know, like swimming upstream, like, you know, like a river of souls. Like, it's just like, what? How the fuck did Show do that, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, with my own 2 legs. Motherfucker, what? What kind of shit? Like, that's where you came from? Like, you didn't just come from the next, like, town over, or country over, or whatever, which I thought was, like, something like that, you know? Like, no, like, he is truly, like, new to these lands. He had to cross a realm to get here. Like, who is Show? And, like, what is, like, his past that he took on a feat like that just to get here, just to, like, travel here? You know, I don't think he is here for any specific reason. I don't know, maybe he has a fate beyond his own understanding. Like, maybe, like, for what Kicho said, like, he needs him for. I think it's more so Kicho getting a read on Show's how he is as a person, as he also said, and also knowing his strength, right? It's probably more so that. But so what I'm thinking that, yeah, he's probably ran from wherever he's from, Seiyu, which we didn't hear much about that land itself. But it's the crazy thing about it is the fact that he had to cross through that, you know, the wandering spirit lands, or I forget the exact title, but I know that was like the main part of it. Okay, I just went and checked the wasteland of spirits, and he straight up says no human could do that. He's like, yeah, I did it with my own 2 legs. Yeah, I just walked here. Okay, so I'll just keep that in my brain. I don't know what to make of that right now. Other than that Shō is just, I guess, more of a badass than I thought. Or I don't know. I actually don't know. But I have even more questions about him. You know, he's not just a guy from a place. He went through like a Herculean feat like to get here. Like, what the hell? So yeah, that just got dropped in there. But I love that whole thing, right? That whole exchange was so fucking awesome. All leading up to them finally drawing their swords and the brief like clash they had before Kicho, his hand was forced and he had to do what he did. And it was actually what I was thinking, you know, that he would convince him to come along and he would offer his life as payment, or his head specifically, as we found out, right? And that was the only thing I could consider, like, as far as making a deal with him. And even then I was like, would he take that deal? But I guess, you know, Kicho, we learned, like with K-Guy, like he believes anyone can be negotiated with. Like he's very good at that, you know, and I have no doubt that's part of a big reason how he was able to wrong so many people, a parade of people, K-Guy said, you know, like, damn, you know, still don't know any details about that. And even a comment Screaming Phoenix Killer made where it's like, well, you can die here without regrets, you know, since you don't know, then you can just die here without regrets of what you're actually doing, you know. So it's like, if Shō knew, would he like not do this? You know, like if he knew like what Kicho really was about and what he did. It's an interesting thing, you know. And I like Kicho a lot. I really like his character, you know, the mystery, of course, most of all. I like how casual he is. He's very witty, but you know, it's like very honeyed words, right? He's very smart in the way he communicates and the way he brings people together and negotiates. Like that's very clear that is his strength, you know, that you see the potential for manipulation there because he's very charming, you know, he has his power. It's like, being the kind of guy he is, you could totally see how he might wrong some people, especially with everything that we've heard so far, you know. So yeah, that's still on the table, but desperate deal, he did it, and so that's the deal. Screaming Phoenix Killer was like, okay, that interests me, and you know what, I want to see the castle where the Bones of Creation is said to be. It's like, okay. So I was like, I figured for that to work, there would have to be another factor. I think I said that in the beginning. There you go, he's interested, and you know, being interested in Shō, I'm sure that helps for him as well, to like spend more time with that and probably build up to that fight, because that fight is definitely going to happen. Shō is definitely going to fight Screaming Phoenix Killer. I have to wonder if that's what Kicho said at the end, like, this is what I need you for, you know. Probably can tell that Shō is the only one who could really match Screaming Phoenix Killer of all of them. Like, it has to be. So undoubtedly that issue is going to be forced, like, again, or rather that fight is going to be forced again, you know. So it makes sense how it turned out, how it did, you know, with that deal, with the interests that he would have. So yeah, I guess he's on the squad now, you know, until they reach the tower, right? And I'm sure there's going to be complications on the way, but man, what a party, you know what I mean? Like, all these people, it already got crazy enough when K-Guy joined, you know, with their crazy self. I loved her suggestions at the beginning, like, what if I have a spell that makes a corpse burst with acid. What if we do that on Ken and then they'll both die, you know? She apparently had other nightmarish spell ideas as well, so yeah, shout out to her. You know, hopefully we can see more of that, more of her. I guess we will, you know. That's the very first major obstacle, you know, that forest of death or whatever. Ken showing more than ever, just, I mean, gallant is a nice word for it, but just, man, he was ready to take him on solo. And all going from that initial exchange that they had. And I was even thinking it, like, during the beginning, like, there's no way that was his full strength that he was going at Ken with, you know? Like, he was sizing him up, right? So, like, for Ken to have that kind of read, I'm sure if that was his actual power, Ken's read would be accurate, but he's not thinking, like, on that scale of that possibility. So it's like, he's just too fired up of, like, getting his name and legend out there. And he even straight up said it, like, it's not even like he doesn't care about that dying if, like, he's unknown, you know. Like, it matters more to him than his own life. It's pretty sad. It's like, damn, Ken, you know, why do you care about this, you know, so much that you don't even care about like your own life? You know, because on a deep level, he has to like know, I'm sure, that he can't beat him. Like, I don't know if he's just really that clouded by that desire, which really makes me worried about Ken. You know, a character like that, that's gonna be tough, you know, especially going where they're going. Like, if he doesn't have like an experience that maybe forces some developments, you know, to be more careful or to like value his own life maybe at some point. So that would be cool. But nah, dude wants his legend known, and he's good enough. He is good enough. He's very fucking good. He's just not there yet. You know, it's not his day yet. It will be. He will have his moment. I know Ken will have his moment. He might die when he does, honestly, because he's like that. Seems like that kind of character. But he will. He'll get it, and it's gonna be awesome. Whatever happens, whether he dies or not, or whatever, it's going to be the most amazing shit ever, you know. But yeah, with this episode, our fellowship, our party is complete. We are ready to embark on the lands between and get to the tower, you know. And of all people, the Screaming Phoenix Killer on the squad. Can't believe that actually happened. Even with me thinking it, I didn't think it would actually happen. So when it did, I was like, what? Oh, fuck. All right. Damn. But like Keisho said, it was a desperate situation since Sho forced it with his actions. And I'm glad he did. You know, it was like complex. It was awesome. It was just, man, like these two. I love the dynamic between these two now. Like, it's such an interesting perspective to see these two, especially with Screaming Phoenix Killer being as smart as he is, being as insightful as he is about reading people, because he's like a pretty fucked up killer, but you know, he's not like a mindless monster. You know, he even pays like for the time he spends here. Like, no one's here because they hear he's here, but he's like, yeah, I pay the owner. You know, they still fucking hate me because he's that, like they said, top assassin, #1 in like the underworld of like that kind of thing. Like, dude, and Sho, even not really knowing that, still knew from his instincts like about that. So it was such a man, I can't say it enough. Just so cool, right? So that was awesome. So yeah, more questions about Sho, still questions about Kicho, but nevertheless, things move forward. Another sick episode. I enjoyed this a lot, and I'm gonna watch the next one right away. So I'm gonna get into that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Amir Kurome, once again, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.